All right, as conservatives across the nation continue to thank the Lord for Friday's court decision overturning Roe and Casey and now putting the nation back on a path toward life, well, the U.S. Supreme Court today handed down another major decision. In a 6-3 ruling, the court upheld the right of former high school football coach Joe Kennedy to take a knee in quiet prayer after football games, even if he can be seen by students and the general public. In other words, Christians cannot be forced to check their faith at the door of public service. Here to break down this major decision and its impact and how it will affect all of us is Coach Kennedy's attorney, one of his attorneys, Mike Berry of First Liberty Institute, and Coach Kennedy himself. Coach, Mike, welcome back to the program. Good to have you.
It's great to see you again, buddy.
Thanks for having us.
Congratulations to both of you. And as I was saying before we came on the air, we ought to play the Marine Corps hymn. 3 Marines here. And of course, Semper Fi, always faithful. So, Coach, I want to get your reaction to today's decision.
Well, as you know, we have fought a long time. I think you were the very first guy that gave me words of wisdom when this first kicked off. And I needed to hear those and that support. So I am just so thankful to God and to everybody who has been supporting me. It seems like most of America has supported me, and I feel like we finally won. It's a big sigh of relief.
Well, it is, and you've had a great team of legal advisors and attorneys around you, and I can't think of a better one than Mike Berry. Mike,
yeah, he's all right.
Let's go through this a little bit. What did the court decide today, and why is it so significant?
Well, first and foremost, the court made it clear that no American is going to lose their First Amendment rights just because they happen to be employed by the school district or any other government agency. We don't shed our constitutional rights when we enter the schoolhouse gates, as the Supreme Court has famously said. That is going to have a huge impact on millions of Americans across the country, right? Whether they're a football coach, whether they are a math teacher, an assistant principal, a superintendent, whatever the case might be, you don't lose your constitutional rights just because you work for the school district. And that doesn't just stop at school districts now, right? If you read the court's decision carefully, you can see this can apply to all other forms of government employment. As Americans, right, we enjoy these freedoms protected by our Constitution, regardless of whether we are public citizens, private citizens, right? Whether we're on the 50-yard line of the football field or in the school cafeteria. And we're just so grateful for the decision. I'm glad that it was 6-3. And one other thing that it did, Tony, was it overturned this case called Lemon versus Kurtzman, right? What we attorneys know as the Lemon case or the Lemon test, which has really haunted the First Amendment for decades. That case is now gone. It's dead and gone. No more Lemon case. And and we're grateful to be able to be the ones that deliver that victory for Coach Kennedy and for America.
Yeah, that Lemon test has really squeezed out religious freedom in America, and I want to come back to that in a moment. But, Coach, I want to ask you, have you heard from any of I know this has been, 7 years to see this culmination of this outcome. Have you heard from any of your players?
Oh, very much so. We talk, seems like on a weekly basis, we're catching up with each other. At Christmas, I went and got to perform a wedding ceremony for one of my football players who was marrying one of our cheerleaders. So I've been part of their lives. I've heard from them all day today, and I got to apologize to them because I haven't been able to respond yet. But yeah, these guys, we were tight. We love each other, and the Bremerton Knights, that's an awesome group.
It's so exciting when it turns out this way. But we've seen this trend, Mike, over the last couple of years where the court, in my layman's view of this, shifting away from the focus on the establishment clause of the First Amendment to more protecting the free exercise, which I think is what we have here today. And that has basically booted the Lemon test.
Yeah, that's exactly right. One of the things that the court's opinion pointed out is that there's no reason for the free exercise clause, which protects our rights to live out our faith openly as Americans, and the establishment clause, which prevents the government from formally establishing a national religion. There's no reason for those two things to be in tension. right? And so, but for decades, all right, the far left has used the Establishment Clause as a weapon, and it's used it as a tool to prevent people like Coach Kennedy from being able to take a knee at midfield for 15 to 30 seconds. So there are a few things as American, as a Marine, right, giving thanks at midfield after a football game. But the one thing that might be more American than that is a Supreme Court that upholds the rule of law, that upholds the Constitution, and restores religious freedom for our country, and says this Lemon case, this Lemon test, it's gone, right? As one of our attorneys on the case, Paul Clement, said, right, we have now driven I think he said a straw or a shiv through the middle of this lemon, and it's dead and buried.
This is, I mean, I don't want people to miss the significance of this, because this has been a long time in coming. The ability to live out your faith in the public square, no longer. And I think this is a good case from a standpoint of establishing precedent, because we're going to see more attacks on religious freedom as we see the conflicts brewing in our society. But the court today has said you cannot be forced to leave your faith at the door, no matter what your role in the public is. I think that's a major, major victory for religious freedom.
Absolutely. And again, one that future law students for decades, for generations, are going to study in law school. So we're proud of Coach. We're proud to stand side by side with him. We know that no Marine fights alone. You know that, Tony. And so First Liberty Institute is just honored to be the ones to stand alongside him as we went through this battle. And this battle is now over.
A great day, and I echo all that, Coach. Thank you, Marine, for taking a stand, and Mike, thanks for standing with him. And this is a great day for all Americans who cherish the First Amendment and our ability to live out our faith in a way to affect the world around us. Great to see you guys.
Very well said. That was awesome. Thanks,
Amen.
buddy.
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.